game has started here. I'm really interested to see the bans. These players do know a little bit about each other. Both Dexter4, Soyaruta, Sanctified, and Format have played together on the same team. And, for team ranked or just normals or other matches, other LAN events in the Pacific Northwest. So this should be an interesting matchup. I'm pretty sure they're going to have Soyaruta go mid lane again, and they're going to let Dexter4 go bot AD, and I think it was Chiwasu was his support. There is going to be a major matchup advantage for whoever goes top against Format. Format was the first pick overall in this draft. And there's some notoriety that comes with going first. It says, of the 32 player pool, you were number one off the board, and so I think that's it's going to be huge. It just says something. It's not as bad as being the last pick, because being the last pick just means you're not the fat kid on the field, because traditionally in most of the judgments, if you're last pick, you have a high probability of making it to the finals, which means you've got something to add, something to offer. So Elo, not quite, everybody thinks Elo means a lot, but I can tell you right now, when you get into this arranged setup, it's not always the case.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's the players that work better together, the teams that figure out where each person plays best. The best idea isn't always to put the lowest Elo person on support, like a lot of people would think. Get them out of the way. It's not always the best option. Sometimes it's better to switch people up, even though, a lot of people that come into Judgment, they'll put down their primary role and a secondary role. Sometimes their primary role is not what's best for the team. You need to switch things up. We've seen that in the past and be really successful for certain teams. So there's a lot of strategy and, teamwork that goes into playing Judgment. It's not about how good you are playing in a solo environment. Looking at the bans, nothing too crazy here. The Jax ban, Janna ban. No one wants to see Janna on the field, apparently. But Nautilus Malphite, we've seen a lot of that recently. That's very, very common. Looks like there's going to be an Ahri ban for Soyaruta, so Soyaruta's not going to get to reprise his Ahri role. Waiting on one last ban. They're taking their time, probably maybe thinking about banning his brother a little bit, but he knows his brother pretty well. He knows that whatever he bans is not going to be a big deal, so he's just going to ban Shen. They don't want to have to deal with Shen no matter under any circumstance, jungle or top. And so it's going to get the first pick off here. Let's see what he decides to go with, and there it is. Alistar not banned in this game so far. Could see a jungle, could see a support Alistar. We do not know yet. We'll see what Dexter and Ultimate Avenger decide to do coming back from that first pick, which is a very, very strong pick. You can't really counter do too much about it unless, Ultimate Avenger, is going to stick with his Mundo. Could see another Mundo jungle from Ultimate Avenger. Got a little
Went ahead.
Go.
Sorry to quickly interrupt. Went ahead and updated the information on our second stream. Again, it is going to be the round 2 Griffle, not Grivel. I'll fix that real quick. Versus GG Ice.
Grivel OP.
And those guys should get their stream up and going. It sounds like I just heard the sound check. I think the sound is going to be working. So that's awesome. Again, if you do want to go see the match between GG Ice and Griffle, tune into our second stream, RYW Media 2. They're just about up and ready.
Yeah. So it looks like Dexter4 came out with Graves Mundo. Mundo probably a comfortability pick. Graves, a very, very solid AD. Dexter4 is definitely going to pick that up. And Epalm actually looks like he might be playing Tristana this round. It looks like a Nocturne pick as well. This team's going to be pretty scary. Nocturne very, very good in this format. Now, Nocturne very good at throwing, as Highwind always likes to say, I'm sure. But also very, very scary in this format. If he gets on a roll and he's able to keep on that roll, he can basically carry an entire game. If played correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about Nocturne. Nocturne is, as a jungler, I single-handedly the best jungler in the game to throw a match. I mean, and I don't know if it's just the, oh my god, I have this really long-range gap closer, and you get all in there and get insta-popped. But when played correctly, probably one of the best jungles to snowball carry. If you get ahead as Nocturne, you can absolutely carry the game from the jungle. It's how a lot of people, I mean, similar to how Lee Sin was previously. Mundo, you don't quite carry. You just become a terror in team fights where you're hard to kill. You have a perma slow and you have sustained damage. Nocturne just says, I'm going to blow up your carry. Whoever it is, I'm going to go in on them and I'm probably going to blow them up. I've also got real strong mid game ganks. And I've seen a lot of Nautiluses opt to start with boots. Not Nautilus, Nocturnes start with boots and actually make appearances in lane before level 6. That fear tether is pretty strong. Dustbringer gives you that movement speed increase. It also increases your attack damage. And some Nautilus actually opt to rock Smite Exhaust. God, I keep saying Nautilus. A lot of Nautiluses do that as well. But Nocturnes can opt to take Smite Exhaust. Not quite as common, but if so, you can expect to see a level 3, level 4 gank. Maybe even a level 2 gank.
Which I've actually seen a lot of recently, and I actually like the more aggressive Nocturnes. I know it's sprung up for a bit here, but the old race to 6, I mean, it was good, but it was predictable, and it let people have this sense of security. But now it's a false sense of security because we've seen a lot of really good Nocturnes actually come up with really, really quick ganks at 2, at 4, and actually make some waves in lanes. And if they're successful, it makes Nocturne just hit that 6 and snowball even harder. So I would like to see maybe possibly that play from them. It looks like a TF and a Nasus are lined up here. I can't believe that Nasus is going to stick for format, but anything is possible. Nasus again can be really powerful. Twisted Fate now, that is actually a very solid pick, and if that sticks, that's going to be a really tear. Again, global alts. They'll have the Nocturne ult, they'll have the TF ult. They'll be able to Nocturne ult, and then TF can teleport in, and it'll be hard for them to see. Obviously, because it'll be darkness. So, format just sticking with the Riven. Just stick with the Riven. What he knows best.
It looks like Soyuruta are going to be playing Orianna. Haven't seen a lot of Orianna. Well, he's not sure yet. Hasn't locked in. I haven't seen a lot of Orianna, but what I was going to say is, I don't know if she's just fallen off. She was real overpowered for a while. Actually, when she first came out, no one knew about her. No one played her. Kind of like Victor. And then all of a sudden, she just became really powerful. Her range and her harass was really great in lane, her ability to farm. Then she got hit with the nerf bat. A lot of her AP ratios got tweaked quite a bit for the worse. And then they also reduced the range on her harass by, I believe, the distance on her Q ability. The command attack, I believe, is that the one?
Yes.
And so I think she's balanced now by any shape of the imagination, and knowing that Soyuruta was probably going to go mid for their team, it looks like that's what that RE ban was targeting.
Yeah, and I actually like Orianna now. I think she's in a good place where she's not she's not this overpowered beast like she used to be, but she still has all the same utility and power for team fights. So if you play her correctly in this balanced format, she actually can be really, really potent and completely dominate team fights if you have the right team for it. As I look at this purple team, I have to question it a little bit because I feel like they're really, really damage light. They have a lot of tanky potential, but right now it's looking like they're going to have to bank on Dexter. Dexter's going to have to win his lane, and they're going to ult him with Yorick and try to protect him and pull all the fancy moves that they can, to make Dexter carry this game out. But if I look at the blue team, it's there's damage everywhere, and Format can come in with a ton of damage. They have, Twisted Fate obviously has that huge burst AP potential, and Tristana is a hyper carry and was playing a great game last time. And Nocturne, of course, is going to be dealing damage as we go in this game. And so I'm kind of scared for the purple team. If we go too late, they might, if they don't protect Dexter, the team fight's going to be over. It's going to be something to look for as we get later on. If Dexter falls early in team fight, it's just GG it out. GG it out. But hey, they could prove me wrong. But it's something as I look at purple team that I'm concerned with. As far as our KDA contest for this one, I'm going to post it on Facebook here. I'm actually going to go with Intimate Bedtime on Twisted Fate. So Intimate Bedtime, actually, I believe it was 8-1 and 7 as Rise last game. He's going to be rocking Twisted Fate, hopping around the map, getting kills, maybe get a ton of assists possibly. It'll be up to you to guess and figure it out, but he is going to be the guy, so I'm going to post that right now. You can hop over to our Facebook really quickly here during the 2-minute warning, so you won't miss any of the action as we hop in, and you'll be able to make your guesses. And I will also reveal the summoner spells. I have that
Ooh.
power.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I was gonna say, if you hadn't decided on someone that you'd want to pick for this match, you could always say take either GG Ice or Griffle, which there will probably be one of those guys will move on. We'll probably make them our KDA for the finals. But I was gonna say, if you wanted to have people just tune into our second stream, and if they're interested in a KDA guest, you could have picked one of them as well. But it looks like Intimate Bedtime, who almost got, funny story, who almost got removed from Judgment 6 because he misspelled his summoner name in registration. Actually spelled it, had the T and I swapped, so instead of intimate, it was in it. In
it, mate.
it, mate. And I was like, I couldn't find him on. I thought there was a bug in Battlefy, and I went into the, logged into the client. I couldn't find him. I was like, this summoner does not exist. Clearly, it's someone just trolling us, and so I was going to bump him out of the event. And then I looked over at our Judgment 5 signups, and on the waiting list was Intimate Bedtime, and it had a Zelo populate. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I realized there was a misspell, so he didn't get bumped for this. So luckily he's in here. I think he ended up going third round for this team. So after format, he got picked up in the third round. And, we watched the end of that last game, and, this Xaioli team is looking pretty good. E-Palm played really well in that last match as Graves. So I'm ready to see how he does here in this match against Michael in the bot lane. But yeah, as you said, damage light. I am interested to see some fancy plays with the Oriana ball, maybe dropping that on Mundo, sucking him into like a team fight. Where we then see Graves doing some buckshot.
And so loading in here, praying that it's not in the bottom right corner because it's just really annoying. I like to keep the flow, and lo and behold, we get to keep the flow. I like this. I like where this is going.
That's a lot of skins for Team Xaioli.
Yeah, I mean they came to play. They were like, Twisted Fate has this new cool artwork. I'm gonna get my skin in there. Got 2 free skins.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of them are
they get a little bit
cheap.
of a pass there, yeah. But of course, the Bunny Riven skin. If you own Riven, if you like to play Riven, you should own that skin. And that actually, the Frozen Terra Nocturne, I actually really like that skin. To be honest.
Yeah, I think that's actually the best one.
Yeah, I like anything that changes spell effects, and that one's really all the the ice type characters. It's really noticeable switching all their stuff to blue. So it's a little.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was saying my comment about the Battle Bunny Riven skin is that because so many people own Battle Bunny Riven that they just might as well change that to the normal skin.
Exactly.
But now I'm gonna feel the exact same way about Pulsefire Ezreal. Like I'm gonna be like, they should have just made this the main skin after you
Yeah, are we allowed to report people for not having the Ezreal skin when they play Ezreal? That might be the way to troll people now. It's like just play Ezreal, and everybody like, oh, it's one of these Pulsefire Ezreal noobs, and you just play standard, or you play the Evergreen Nottingham, the Green Nottingham Ezreal, or the Spelunker Ezreal, which I hate. Who is what would be a really cool skill? Let's make him a spelunker because he's an archaeologist and he likes to search for stuff, and it'll be really cool. Have a little hat and a flashlight. If there was actually even a flashlight animation on his helmet or something that made that skin unique besides the guy wearing a flashlight on his head, I'd be a fan of that skin more. But anyways, we're gonna hop into this game. Team Xaioli, the blue team, and on the red team we have Dexter4. Sanctified making an appearance here as support for Xaioli. That's a pretty solid pickup.
So, Callan, from one caster commentator to another, what are your predictions here? What do you foresee in the mid to late game for each of these teams, or what do you think the blue team?
I kind of went over it earlier. I think that the red team's just not going to have enough damage in the team fights, and I feel it's really interesting because it's all going to depend kind of on the early game, really. Because if the damage is there, which I expect Format to do, his typical thing, and if Nocturne is up to snuff, if he has a really good early game, and Twisted Fate has a really good early game, those are going to be the 2 characters to watch on the blue team because I'm not worried about Format or EPOM even for that matter, especially with Sanctified backing him up. I have to expect that the red team is just not going to have enough damage when it comes to the late game team fights. And even though a team fight they might have a good engagement or something, it's going to be like one of those like, oh, they just don't have enough damage and they've died. Unless they can protect Dexter4 somehow and Dexter4 becomes unscathed. But with Sanctified playing Alistar, I have to believe it's not going to be there, especially also with Nocturne diving him. It's really hard to protect that. And they don't have a lot of great peel for Dexter, so it's going to be all on him to get away. Mundo's not going to do a good job of peeling. Soraka's only really has the heals for him, and you'll have the Yorick ult, but once that's done, then you're pretty much out of luck. And you could use Oriana's actually CC slows her ult to try to peel for him. That's pretty unreliable, and I just wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. I feel that in terms of both early, mid, and almost late game, that the advantage is going to be somewhere in the hands of the blue team. And right now though, Mundo may find out that his red was stolen. So one thing you want to do here as a jungler, when you take your blue and you're not quite sure if you're being countered, run over there and check your red real quick.
Yeah, forget the raise for a second. just run over. Yeah,
like 3 seconds. You can avoid race. You can run over there because if you see that your red was stolen, you can immediately.
This is a surefire gank on top, and there's the first blood for Xaioli. That's exactly what they need. And if you're going to snowball anybody on this blue team, Format's going to be the one that you're going to put all your money on. They're Sanctified with a really quick engage and burst combo onto Tuaso. Soraka trying to heal this out. He's not going to be able to do it, and there's a quick kill. And Epalm's going for more. He even wants Dexter in this, and Dexter with no support, no heals there. There's no way he's going to be able to sustain in this lane.
Yeah, that is the power of the Tristana Alistar. That level 2, especially if they start mini golems first, which I don't believe they had the time to do. But if they start mini golems, they can hit that level 2 before you hit level 2 in bot lane, and then they can just go really aggressive, pop both their summoners, and just really force you to be in a tight situation, especially against a Soraka.
Yeah, I mean Soraka's heal, it's not that potent early. It doesn't heal that much, so it's definitely a good time to actually go in on her, especially when you have an ignite to do that. And the other thing too is that a lot of times, when you're laning with a Soraka, a lot of the ADs will go, hey, I have a Soraka to heal and sustain me, give you all my mana and my health. I'm going to go Doran's Blade. But Doran's Blade's terrible on its own if you have no sustain to back it up because you can be harassed. So, losing Soraka earlier is going to put her behind. Her heals aren't going to be as effective, and Dexter's going to have a harder time being able to sustain, in case Tristana or Alistar wants to go aggressive again.
And Format, I definitely think is going to do a pretty good job here farming. I'm personally not the biggest fan of York, and mainly because I feel like he doesn't bring enough to team fights. Even though if you take a look at his ult, right, it's brutal in the sense that it can bring one of your characters back to life to do additional damage. If anybody have seen the York Cassiopeia mat, or the York Karthus, it's pretty infamous. But I really like York on hyper carries. Not so much maybe a Graves, who's more of a burst caster.
Yeah, I completely agree. You normally want it like on a Vayne, on a Tristana, on a Kog'Maw, something that you could even double up and just really do damage. And it makes your team more tanky, and it's really good if you have a pretty good peeling team or a team that has more damage on it. Maybe even you forgo your jungler a little bit because Yorick can make your AD or other members tanky. Maybe go something more aggressive as a jungler, not just go straight tank. But Mundo, he's pretty much just a tank. And I don't think Tristana, as we get later in this game, the damage output that the blue team has is really going to care too much about that. But, the game has to be played. You don't win just in Champion Select. Champion Select will give you some advantages when it comes to late game, but you don't entirely win there. A lot of it's play. And right now, Blue is making some good plays. Looks like Nocturne again focusing on to Yorick. Yorick does not have any mana, and that is a great fear coming back in there. Great stun by Format, great timing, and Xaioli getting fed again with another kill. Now, the unfortunate thing, like we're talking about, why we talk about Nocturne here as being one of the best ways to throw. He dives in there, he can be ahead of his team, make that mistake. But, time after time, we've seen great, Nocturne plays where they get really fed early, and then if they don't go tanky enough, they get too damage happy. This get blown up later, and so even though you thought you had this great advantage, putting all your kills and your gold on Nocturne isn't necessarily where you want it to be, because he's like a carry, but he has to get in your face to do his job, and so he can be effective, but at the same time he's also a liability, and if you lose your big gold winner on your team in a team fight, it's going to cost you.
I could not agree more. Personally, I was just trying to evaluate the jungle situation. I feel that in this regard, was Xaioli actually taking a commanding step from the jungle, and I believe Mundo being their last pick. There is going to be they're not going to have as much jungle presence you would expect, especially because they got the early start and counter jungled Mundo's red, so they're going to be less likely to see invades.
Yeah, definitely looking at the junglers. Even if we look at CS, Xaioli's been able to pull off 2 ganks successfully. He's got both the kills from him, and he's also ahead of Mundo in just CS from the jungle and lanes that he's been able to run around and be a part of. So definitely gold-wise way ahead of Mundo. And that's going to be another advantage. And that's, again, like I was talking about earlier, they wanted Nocturne to get ahead. And the next is going to be Twisted Fate. Will he be able to roam around this map and feed other members of his team and get some kills and be able to carry himself? So he's going to be able to do that crazy burst damage and wave clearing that he's really known for. A really fed TF, if he gets ahead, not only does he have a great effect on the map, but when you get to that late stage where you're trying to poke in at turrets and clear waves and stuff like that, it's really, really harsh whenever you get hit by one of those card combos. And there is the Nocturne ult. And it looks like it's coming on bottom with Twisted Fate. They're going to get the stun off on Dexter. And they're going to blow up Soraka right away. And Dexter, I'm sorry, buddy. You're not going to be able to make it out of this. Although they will pick up a kill onto Alistar. But the turret is going to get the kill. He's going to get executed. No damage was done to him. So he's going to be perfectly fine. Orianna rotating down here. Might try to pick up a kill. But this might be a death sentence for her if she picks the wrong time to go in. Hopefully Twisted Fate is out of this before she decides to engage. Now she's going to engage. Twisted Fate is not there. She gets that speed up bonus. There's the rocket jump from EPOM. Great juke by him out of range to actually be harassed down. Now he's going to get hit. There's the ult underneath turret. Team heal goes off. Ignite goes off. I don't think it's going to be enough. Great play by EPOM. Great patience actually by the Orianna player. Soiruta trying to pick up the kill there, but just not quite able to do it. And it looks like Nocturne's rolling up in here. He's fat and healthy. He already has a Wriggles. And I was going to point it out earlier, but, I got distracted by the game. But, one of the first buys for Format was just a straight-up BF sword. He was like, you know what? I've been fed enough. I'm doing well in lane. I got 69 CS. I got 2 assists. I'm just going to buy a BF sword and a Vampiric Scepter. What up? So he's going to have great sustain, have a ton of damage. And right now, Yorick just buying up health pots, trying to even get to a tier, and he's going to be sorely out of luck in that top lane, being behind, especially against a really, really strong member like Format.
Sorry for being sort of here in the silent mark. I'm actually helping our buddies on our backup stream or on the second stream get their options adjusted while in game. So I'm using the in-game chat system to message them and then switch over to the chat stream. So
good work again. Like we said, a lot of work goes in on the background for these tournaments. Thanks to everybody that helps us out. And then just bear with us in case we have to go off and do work like that. High Wind, super awesome at getting in touch with the players, doing a lot of that background stuff, making sure people have players for their teams. And obviously, Hey Kelso helping us out in chat. And looking down at this bottom here, Sanctified just zoning out really, really well. Xaioli's rotating down now. And if they want to continue the pressure on the Dexter like they are right now, Dexter already at half health, getting all of Soraka's heals, and Sanctified just eating the turret with his ult. They are going to take out Dexter, and at this point, this is exactly what I was talking about. They need that early advantage. If you look at Nocturne at this point, the mount he's fed, he's super tanky, way earlier than he should be. You have Alistar to do crazy, crazy dives, and Yorick is trying to ult here, and it doesn't even matter. Format just in complete, control of this top lane. But even with the TF, like I said earlier, Dexter is the key to their team. There's the ult coming on to Soiruta. Soiruta's actually in defense, going to be able to get this, be fine, perfectly fine. They're a little bit aggressive. They're actually Nocturne didn't have any much mana.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say
But like I was
No,
gonna say earlier, Dexter4, like we were talking about, like he's gonna have to carry their team. They're gonna have to Yorick ult him. He's gonna have to try to hyper carry this out, but he's not a hyper carry. And if bottom lane wants to kill him, they can kill him at will at any time. TF can come in, Sanctified, just basically tanks the turret, and like what are they gonna do if Soraka's down there, if Dexter's down there? That turret's not gonna save them with a 4-man game they can do with 2 global ults and a ridiculous diver like Alistar. Like Dexter's in a whole lot of trouble, and Red Team's in a tough spot. They're going to have to do something to change it up and figure something out, because just leaving him in bottom lane, Xaioli just going to make the rounds again. TF, if his ult's up, he's going to come down, and they're just going to pick up more kills and more kills. And looking at Dexter right now, he's at 80 CS. Trishana's at 83, so CS-wise, he's doing a great job. He's doing a stellar job. He's at 2.9k, and Tristana, though, is at 4k, though. So really, really falling behind. Xaioli's setting up here. That ward's going to be clutch, but it's not going to be enough. Tristana jumps in. There's Twisted Fate. Dexter exhausted, running into brush, not going to be able to save him. Like I said, on demand, they can basically kill him whenever they want. He's not going to be able to sit in lane. Even if he was under turret, they could do what they're doing right now. Intimate picking up another kill there for the KDA watch. Shout out to the viewers at this time. So you do have something to root for. You can root for him to die or kill or get assists based on if your guess is there. And blue team going to pick up another dragon here. And this team comp from them and just the way they're playing right now is just, it's exactly what they need to do. Like everything we talked about earlier game, how the game has to play out. Blue, just completely executing. And red, they're doing okay. I mean, Saruta's doing okay. Dexter's farming, but they're just in a position right now where the game's not in their hands. Blue is in the driver's seat, and they're just playing it out perfectly.
yeah, I even saw a comment in chat. I think Dexter's almost ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those tough scenarios. Like like we said earlier, it's not all decided in champ select. But if you look at this team, what they're able to do, if they get to that point, which they got really early with those quick ganks on Nocturne, and you can just trust Matt to do what he does best and call it a wrap. And there you go, Saruta pinched right there by Format. Format picking up another kill in the mid lane, and they can just basically roam around here, do whatever they want, just pick off people as they want. If anybody gets ahead or gets close, they can take them out. We have over a 6k gold lead at 13 minutes in, which is like, the equivalent late game of almost being like 20k. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be that way, but levels wise are huge in League of Legends. And then also just the item advantage that's been seeing here from the junglers, from all the lanes, the carry lanes right now. It's just,
yeah, they're running a really stellar snowball comp right now, and executing it as well. Riven already has her Bloodthirster, working on those stacks, might even getting close to maxing it out already. I mean, we could even see a double Bloodthirster Riven here.
Yeah, honestly, she could do that. They're going to take this top turret. Zathel's probably going to give up his body yet again. TF going to come in just to make sure, get some assists, get some more gold for his team. And if they really want to, I think they can even push down a second turret top. It looks like help is on the way with Saruta, and Xaioli actually taking a lot of damage from that Ghost. One of the tips I would say against the Ghost, and Format's actually going to face check this. Mundo actually might be in a little bit of trouble. Might just be some good baiting and a kill bottom. Meanwhile, but we're going to come back top and watch the kill from Format ignite on him. Mundo might be able to pick this up. He's actually going to turn around, try to get some life back, but he will fall. They finally shut down Format. The good news is you do get more bonus gold after the switch. And Tristana falling as well, and Sanctified trying to get some revenge here onto Dexter. Dexter's at the point of great flash and kill onto Dexter. And Alistar Sanctified doing work on the support. And this play right now for blue team is basically at will. It's kind of a scary moment when the support Alistar can basically take on your AD carry and doesn't even give a dang. So bottom turret probably will follow as well. Middle turret probably sure to follow. And we're basically 5 minutes out from Dexter's team probably wanting to throw in the towel.
Yeah, and I think at this point we might even see like some unorthodox, like all mid or like Desperation Baron, which is not a good idea.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like as a caster, and I know like there's etiquette, you never want to call a game, but you have to be real with people. Like people are gonna know when a game is near its end, and we can try to come up with ways that they can come back. But right at the offset, I said they don't really have an out clause with this team. They have to play really well, and if blue team executes properly, this is what's going to happen. And Tristana just jumping in there, going to kill Mundo. Xaioli really close to dying, going to give up his gold bonus, but Tristana going to clean this up. We're going to see a triple kill here very, very shortly for EPOM, possibly. And no, he's not going to chase us down. Saruda just tough enough, got that double buff.
Yeah, this match definitely in favor. I'm just going to go ahead and make my Captain Obvious statement of the night.
Yeah.
This match definitely in favor here of the blue team. I mean, some of us, if not all of us, have been in this situation where you're like, holy crap, what the heck happened? Like, honestly, I've played against solo mid before, and I was probably in the same situation. And I think the best thing to do is just kind of have fun with it. Like, you're getting rolled here. Not much you can do. You're still got an opportunity to play for like third place match.
Yeah.
So don't just give up. In this match, you can go ahead and give up, but like, don't be too upset. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Don't rage at your teammates. Like, it's a learning experience. If you're like Ultimate Avenger or something, and if you take a look at Ultimate Avenger, like, not only is he unranked, but he doesn't have a whole lot of match history in terms of just playing. He's put into a jungle role, which I think is very hard to jump into just straight off without sort of any real experience. But you know what? I think he's been doing a pretty good job. One of the things he'll want to do is come back and take a look and watch the videos and be like, hey, what could I have done better?
Yeah,
nice Orion
thing
ult.
too is, like, not to like take a beautiful ult by Sanctified coming in there. Still gonna give up Xaioli as a kill. And it looks like Red's actually hanging in here. Blue throwing away a few kills, but Tristana's just waiting in the wings. There's the stun, and in comes the killathon. There is almost a double kill with a rocket jump, and we might see a quadra kill here. It's gonna be close. Oh, double kills,
it's a full house.
Double kills. Yeah, there you go. But it's not like any of these players that they're playing against, the red team are bad. I mean, Dexter4, he's an MVP caliber player. He's a great 80 bottom, but just the pressure he's been put under, like, I don't think any player would be able to deal with that. You could put Chaotic Special down there, and in that same scenario, they're not going to be able to survive with Blue's throwing down. Blue's playing this really, really well, and playing to the strength of their team comp. So, I mean, none of these players should feel bad about how this game went. I mean, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and Judgment, and one of the things it does is it does take lower experienced players and pairs them with higher experienced players, and so those players can actually use that as an opportunity to, like, hey, what could I have done better? Hopefully the captains and those higher players can be like, definitely want to try this, or give them some helpful tips and advice, because it is a very rare opportunity to play with. A lot of times players don't get that opportunity to play with the higher elo players. Like, if you're just playing solo queue ranked, or if you're unranked, like, you're going to be used to playing with people at your level. In this situation, you get put in a coordinated event. You're in an event where you can be on communication with your team. You can ask them questions. You can go back and watch the matches. This exposure, and looks like we're going to touchdown opportunity. Dexter4 going for the mount is not going to make it.
Alistar, one of the best defensive linemen in touchdown League of Legends. And poor Sathal. Format just feasts here right now. So yeah, red team having fun with it. They know they've lost, but they get to play for third and fourth, and they could easily win $10 in RP for every member of their team. If they win the third, fourth place match. So there's nothing. There's nothing to feel bad about. Too bad. I mean, yeah, you can't play for the finals.
Soraka is going for the goal here.
Soraka looks actually really good for Soraka. Chiwasu getting dove on by Zoli. Zoli not going to allow it. The turn, but the clutch heal. Will he be able to make it? Alistar. Oh no! So close.
Almost.
So close. Sanctified. She was on the edge. On the edge, Soraka. You were so close. I don't know. We might have to go back to instant replay and see if she crossed the line. That is, breaking the plane is a touchdown, but I don't think the laser activated, which usually is the sign that you scored a touchdown. So I'm gonna have to say that it's no good on instant replay. Dexter's not gonna get a chance to run there. He's gonna get a Yorick ult, and he will pick up a kill with the Yorick ult. So dignity kill there. Dignity kill there.
Yeah, a couple dignity kills across the board.
Shout out to Saruda, because he actually played a pretty good AP mid. I mean, honestly, under all the pressure that was going on in this game, he actually didn't do too bad. He actually played a pretty solid game. We've seen a pretty solid game, throughout today in the early game, especially from him. So, props to him, seeing him in that AP role, stepping up instead of the support role, and that will be the game.
Yep.
surrender by
So,
Team Dexter. So Xaioli will move on to the finals. Do we know he's going to play it? I know that game possibly
no,
started
we're
late.
actually going to hopefully try and tune into that real quickly. I know they're having a little bit of stream issues.